Thank you so much for all your really, really lovely comments on my videos. I love reading through them, and one of them in particular caught my eye. It was from a guy. I'm going to post it up now. I really hope you don't mind me posting it. I mean, you post it on YouTube, so I'm sure you don't mind. So it says, congratulations on your distance. I'm wanting to try big distance, but I worry so much I talk myself out of it. So that's Grinch Hopper. So, and then he put like sad cyclist and a little sad face. So no need to be a sad cyclist. You can be like a happy, achieving cyclist. So what I would say is, for your first big ride, I mean, it's different for everybody what they class as the first big ride. So whatever the ride that is, whatever distance that you want to do, map it. I'd say number one, map it out on Strava. Map it out so you actually know where you're going, or do a route that you actually know where you're going, because the last thing you want to do is do a route like that's the biggest distance you've ever done, get lost and add loads more onto that, because it'll just panic you, it'll stress you out. So either get a route from Strava, put it onto your Garmin or Wahoo or whatever GPS you've got, or do a route that you actually know. So that's the first main tip. Second one is take enough food and water, take enough cash, and kind of plot in places that you know you'll be able to get food from, because there's nothing worse than being out on a ride and having no water, no food, and just being stuck, because you are going to bonk, and you're going to bonk big time, and you're going to be like, why did I even do this? So if you've got enough food and you've got enough water, it just makes it so much easier, and you get in a nicer mental state for actually smashing out those kilometres. So that's tip number 2. The third thing that I would say is have a bailout point. Always give yourself the option of a point where you would be able to go back if you are feeling too exhausted, too tired. So always make sure you're planning a train station. And the last thing that I would say is try and do it with somebody else, especially with someone else that's done that distance before, or even if they've not done that distance before, do it with somebody else, because that motivation to be with somebody else and you know, be doing it together and being like, you know, pushing each other and encouraging each other is like the best thing, because sometimes you're both going to have a low point and you're both going to have high points. You're going to like spur each other on, and it's just more fun if you're riding with friends and you complete it together. You can have like a celebratory, like big bowl of rice when you get home. So they're the main things that I would say. But overall, I think the most important thing that you can have is self-motivation and self-belief that you are going to do it. And like, even the ride that I did was like 160k, like my biggest ride. Like, I actually called the ride, it's probably a little bit geeky to even admit this, but I'm going to tell you anyway because it might help you. So I actually called the ride You Can Do It. And so obviously when I'm putting it in the morning, it comes up as You Can Do This, and I'm like, yes, I can do this, it's fine. And having that self-belief is the most important thing you can do. So, oh, there's a little spider down there. Well, it's quite a big spider. Yeah, so have that self-confidence and self-belief, and you can do anything you want to do. Make sure that, you know, and one last thing is make sure that you've got spares of like tubes, you've got repair kits, you've got all that stuff. Make sure that your bike is, you know, up to doing this long ride. So I guess that kind of goes without saying. But so I really hope that you actually get on and do this ride, because once you've done one and you've overcome something, it's almost like it's a snowball effect. Once you've done one thing and you've overcome one thing, you'd be like, yeah, I can do this. Then you do it again and you go, oh, well, how far can I push it this time? And then again, you do a little bit more and a little bit more. And that's like amazing for confidence. So just give it a crack and you'll be fine. And if you're not, let me know and we can find a way to get you through it next time. So I really do hope that helps, and post your comments, post your questions below. Let me know the furthest ride that you did. Tell me a time when you've pushed yourself and you've overcome something you didn't think you'd be able to do, because that for me at the weekend was something that I didn't think I'd be able to do. So I'm chuffed with it, and now I'm like, oh, I could do this or I could do that, or you know what I mean? It's just like, I just keep getting all these ideas of things that I want to do and places where I want to visit and how far I want to ride. So yeah, I hope that helps, and yes, sorry, I will see you next video.